Diana sent the email to Slade, then put the phone in her handbag. It wasn't her normal phone, but a phone that had two contacts, Slade and Diego. Cole had left the coffee shop. Diana was shocked at Cole's determination to bring the wrath of her husband Slade down on both of them. She walked to the window that overlooked the street. 30 floors beneath her, the grind of the city went at its usual hurried pace. The streets were packed with taxis, cars, and delivery trucks, all kicking up the slush onto the pedestrians who jammed the sidewalks. Even after 20 years in New York City, Arizona was still home. Interstate 17, her favorite road to ride, started at Flagstaff, which saw an abundance of winter weather. It was a steady downhill ride all the way to Phoenix, with the exception of going down into Verde Valley, only to ride back out. Sunset Rest Area was where the fun started, with tight curves between it and Black Canyon City. By that point, winter weather was in the shape of rain if there was moisture at all. The road straightened out by New River. From there, down into the valley, the road dropped gently in elevation until it reached Phoenix, which sat slightly above 1,000 feet from sea level. During the 2 years she rode with Desert Rattlers, they hadn't gone south of Phoenix often. Once they had ridden into San Diego, southwest of Phoenix, to meet with other members of the gang from California. A few times they had ridden to Tucson and as far as Tombstone. But she hated going that way. To her, Phoenix up to Black Canyon City offered enough challenge with the heavy traffic and the best scenery. The ever-present headache told her she needed to get out of New York. She was so tired she couldn't kick it. There was only one question. How did she handle her job? She walked into her boss's office to quit. She got a pleasant surprise when she was told there was no need to. She could take her clients and 6 more who had requested her services and work from home. By the time she joined the throng of humanity on the packed sidewalk at 5:30, she had an apartment rented in Anthem. She had a service hired to move her motorcycle for her, and a one-way ticket purchased for Phoenix, leaving from JFK first thing in the morning. That evening, the phone in her handbag chimed to announce an email. She dug it out. "We'll handle Cole. There's nothing you can do about him anyway." That's all Slade wrote, so she didn't reply. Right then, she got a funny feeling he wasn't tracking her. If that was true, was it because he trusted her? Or was he so preoccupied with whatever activities he was doing, he simply didn't care? Maybe 20 years of her living up to his expectation had finally caused him to relax. Maybe the move to Arizona would go unnoticed. She sat down to eat the Chinese takeout she'd picked up on her way home. She studied the first 4 names of the artist who wanted her to be their agent. It was the 5th one that made the sesame chicken stick in her throat. Jesse Ames. She was surprised to realize either Cole had lied to her or misunderstood. Jesse hadn't signed anything related to the upcoming movie, Deadly Highway. Diana scoured the information. It was so poorly filled out she suspected Jess had contacted her to get Cole off her back. She figured Cole hoped at least Jesse's law enforcement parents would back off if Jesse had an agent. She would respond to the young actress. It was the only way to tell if Jesse really wanted to hire her or if Cole was trying to clean up his mess with this weak attempt. It was kind of like closing the barn door after the horse escaped, Diana thought as she started to type a response. It gave her some leverage. She had a movie that would be filmed in Hawaii. Jesse could easily win the audition and spend the winter filming in a gorgeous location. She put her welcome packet with the contract for her services together, with the details of the movie in a file. She sent it to Jess and turned, her laptop off. Diana made arrangements to be picked up at 4:30 in the morning. Her bike had been collected and was already out of New York. She packed her things, set them by the door, and then tried to sleep. The headache wouldn't let her. She was pretty sure it was just tension. Once she felt the warm sun of Arizona, she'd feel better. Morning came with no snow but a cold wind. The cab driver loaded her bags without a word. She settled into the back seat, warmed by the air blasting from the vents. He didn't talk as he headed for JFK. The streets were empty aside from the occasional garbage or delivery truck. The driver's silence drew her attention to steady him closer. Was it possible Slade was still tracking her? She pushed herself to sit up straight. He didn't say a word the entire way to the airport. He got her bags out of the trunk, slammed the lid down, then took the handsome tip from her hand. He gave a curt nod before hurrying to the warmth of the taxi. Diana was pretty sure he was part of Slade's organization. Otherwise, a driver would have talked nonstop in hopes for a good tip. He was being paid well to run her to the airport. He didn't have to talk. Yep, that fit, she decided as she hurried to check her bags in. All it meant was the 4 hours she was in the air would probably be the last 4 hours of peace she'd have for a very long time. Her headache worsened. She wasn't sure how she got through security or into her first-class seat. She closed her eyes as someone sat beside her. At that point, she didn't care. She just prayed she'd get to Phoenix without passing out.